So now we move on to line number 6. And this line we pronounce all the letters with our lips. So it might be a bit easier to understand compared to thinking about which part of the tongue we're using for the previous lines. This line is papa. Add a bit more breath, papa. And then baba. And add a bit more energy to the start is baba. And then mama. Papa, papa, baba, baba, mama. And papa is written in a very, very similar way to kaka, except we don't add this horizontal line in the middle. So this is papa. And then if we wanted to write kaka, all we do is add this line in the middle. So starting at the top left, come down, round back up to the top right, and then come down for a tail, and then you can continue the line at the top right. Remember, papa utto khullaega, so it's open at the top. So 4 बारी और लिखते हैं papa, papa. And papa is exactly how you write the number 5 in Punjabi as well. Papa. And 5 is panj in Punjabi. So that's quite easy to remember. Papa for panj. Other words beginning with papa are pet. Pet is stomach. Pad. Pad is foot or feet. And this is the limb, not the measurement. Purana. Purana is old or ancient, and this refers to objects or time periods, not to people. So you wouldn't call a person Purana generally. You'd call someone Buzurg or Vidda. Purana is an old object or an olden times, for example. And Bacharna. Bacharna means to recognize. So line 6, letter 2 is papa. And sometimes it's pronounced, some people pronounce it fafa, but technically fafa is over here. So if you do pape barbindi, it becomes fafa. Pape barbindi fa. But the thing is, a lot of the words which use papa or fafa, you can change these letters to each other, and it doesn't really change the meaning of the word, as we'll see. So papa. And it looks a bit similar to dadda over here, except it doesn't have this loop in the left hand side. So papa likhn waste, we start with the horizontal line at the top. Start at the top right, come down, move towards the left, and then spiral round almost. Fafa. So not fafa, papa. Papa. So you can see how if we added this loop here, it would turn it into dadda. So top right, come round and loop, and there, papa. Papa. I think this is also a fun letter to write. You can see here that I've just continuously gone from here and then down without lifting my pen. I'll show you, if you want to lift your pen, do the line separately, you can also do it like this. Either way, it's the same thing. Papa. Some words beginning with papa, and a lot of these, as I said, you can interchangeably use papa and fafa, and it will mean the same thing. So pal is fruit. Pal. You can also say fal with a bindi. Fal also means fruit. Pul. Pul is flower. Flowers. Same as full. Paltu. Paltu is extra, spare, kind of unnecessary, unneeded, redundant, or sometimes also used to refer to something which is useless or nonsense. Faltu. So if someone is faltu bol raha, someone's talking nonsense. Or if this thing is faltu, is extra. Pasrna. Pasrna is to get stuck. Pasrna. So line 6, letter 3 is baba. Bit like the letter B in English. And baba, when you write it, it is almost like a mirror image of ura without the line above the horizontal line. So it's a bit like a mirror image of ura. When you start writing it, it's like you're writing a mirror image of the letter 3, then you go back up, and then you do come back down for the tail. So horizontal line, start the top left, and sometimes depending on the font, depending on your handwriting, this line here may or may not touch the vertical line. I think in most of the fonts it does touch it, so it might be better to practice writing with the line, the horizontal bit in the middle touching the vertical line. But often when I'm writing it, it usually ends up looking a bit like this. Baba. And depending on the font, sometimes it can be confused with tata. So you have to be a bit careful when you're reading texts. Baba. So some words beginning with baba include bandar. Bandar means a monkey. Bol. Bol is speak, or it can mean so speak or say or tell, but it can also mean a syllable. Bol, or the syllables of the rhythmic syllables used when you're playing tabla or other percussion instruments in South Asia. Baddal. Baddal is cloud or clouds. And bulbula. Bulbula is a bubble. And now for letter number 4 in line 6, which is baba. Baba. Remember, this is a bit like you're adding up baba and baba to make ba, but it's slightly different, so it's baba, baba. Like you're giving a bit more emphasis to the start of that letter. And this is written like this. So horizontal line at the top. Come back down as though you're doing a 3, but then you loop round and curve back down. फिर तो कर दिया. Baba. I suppose it's similar to concept for writing ara, except it's vertical rather than horizontal. Baba. चलो दो चार बारी और लिखते हैं, and then we'll move on to some words. Baba. Again, if you want, you can lift your pen up, but you don't have to. Baba. And if you're not careful, sometimes it can end up looking a bit like tata, which is without the loop. So just be careful when you're writing. Baba. So some words beginning with baba are banda. Banda is a utensil, a dish, like a pot or pan. Banda. Bulna. Bulna is to forget. Bajna. Bajna is to run. And book. Book is hunger. So when you're feeling hungry, book lag rahi hai, I'm feeling hungry. Book. The last letter in line number 6 is mama. Mama. Mama looks very similar to sassa, except sassa has a line going all the way across the top, and mama is open at the top. So mama no josi likhte hain. We start at the top left. We come down at a right angle. We do a triangular sort of loop and bring the line round horizontally. Then we do this vertical line to connect it, and a tiny horizontal line at the top right. Mama. And this loop, I'm making it really obvious here, but when it's a typed font, a computerized font, it might not be so obvious. But usually it's a bit bigger, like in this font over here. Mama. I think sasa and mama are very easily confused, so when you're revising or practicing these letters, remember to say them as you're writing them, and pay special attention to letters which look very similar, which you could get mixed up. This is mama. Mama. Okay, some words beginning with mama are masi. Masi is mother's sister, so maternal aunt. It can be your mum's older sister or younger sister, but maternal aunt, masi. Mu. Mu means mouth or face. Mu. Mombati. Mombati is a wax candle. So mom means wax and batti means light. So mombatti is a candle. And man. Man is the mind. Mind is man. Can also mean, if you say man karna, that can mean to want something, to desire something, a bit like dil karna is also to want something. So man karna is when your mind wants something, dil karna is when your heart wants something, I guess. If you add a tippi, man, that becomes like manna, to agree to something, manna. But this is man, referring to the mind.